As you sat down whilst we were watching Femi's film, you said important stuff. Why is it big stuff?
Well, McDonald's is, I suppose, really the epitome of the American dream.
Yes.
From humble beginnings, it's now grown to this empire of employing in America 750,000 people. It's huge figures. But interestingly, as we've already heard, only a small fraction of those are McDonald's Corporation employees. And I think that's really the issue here, that it's taking a lot of flack for something which arguably is down to the franchisees, less so the global business empire.
So the future of this minimum wage actually is not at all certain, is it, even if they were to get it? Because it's down to the franchisees, is it, to decide how much they pay their workers?
Well, to a certain extent. What we're seeing across America is that the federal minimum wage as it stands is $7.25. They're asking for $15, albeit by 2020. But we're seeing certain states which have the opportunity to legislate themselves, either more or less, to say, well, actually, yes, we will stand by this. So we, last night, LA have said that by 2020 we'll be at $15, Seattle previously, San Francisco as well. So regardless of what the franchisees say, ultimately, if they're in LA, if they're in Seattle, if they're in San Francisco, they'll have to be paying these sorts of wages.
It's interesting, isn't it, that a country like the United States allows a minimum wage issue to be decided in a federal way.
That's right.
Why does it do that?
Well, I think Obama doesn't want that to happen. He wants to introduce certainly a raised minimum wage across the country. That's talking about $10.10 at the moment over the next year or so. Potentially $12 also talked about. But it's a long way to go. And in the service industry, we're hearing about how awful it is to be employed on such a low wage. But what McDonald's is doing is providing some training. We all see the stars and the badges. We can see people progress, and often, many of them do progress to other jobs. It's seen as a temporary transition.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that, because there are side benefits, aren't there, to working for a big company like that?
That's right. And the things that come with it, let's say the training, but also the opportunities. People don't tend to stay there for life, or they tend to stay and work in other jobs alongside.
I've got to just ask you something very briefly, and this won't go down very well with the workers, as it were, but there's the other side of it is the affordability of something like this, isn't it? And that is a big issue.
That's right. And when we want to cap the price of a burger, capping the price of the costs of that, the background costs, employees' wages, ingredients even as well, we have to start talking about that balance. I think that's really at the heart of this. What gets passed on to the employees also gets passed on to the consumer.
Kevin Poulter, thank you very much.
Thank you.